In one of the other videos in the export section, I was talking about exporting an image from Lightroom to the pre-size that I want for posting on Flickr. Now that was more or less in relation to changing the size. We could have easily been talking about an email attachment, a slideshow, image, or even something for the web. We do have a dedicated Flickr Publish Services option on the left hand side here, and that's what we're going to look at next. Just before I do, we're also going to look at the hard drive setup, which we've done in a previous video. I'm going to skip the Behance and Facebook because once we set up one internet connection, then it's much the same with all of the others, albeit slightly different screens. This option here, when we click Setup, will allow us to log in our account with Lightroom, the one we've got with Flickr, so we actually upload directly from Lightroom. So at the top of the screen I can choose a name for my published service because remember, I'm not sure we would want more than one set up for Flickr, but it's possible if we want. So I will just use the same name and close that down, and now we've got to start to authorize our Flickr account. Now this may be a little bit tricky for me because I've got to start working online while recording a video. So I'm going to start by clicking the Authorize button. So a little bit of safety and security here. Lightroom needs our permission to upload images to Flickr. If you authorize, you'll be taken to a web page in your web browser where you can log in. When you're finished, return to Lightroom to complete the authorization. So let's click to authorize and wait for the screen to appear. There's my sign-in page, so I need to put in there the email address that I used and my password. Once done, I can sign in. Quite a bit of information on this page, but basically it's just Adobe Photoshop Lightroom wants to link to your Flickr account. OK, I'll authorize that. Now I've been brought back to Lightroom, and when I followed this through on another computer, I got the same information here. It's saying that the Lightroom Catalog 2014 RAW cannot be opened because another application already has it opened. Now I wonder if that's because we've actually got Lightroom running, because there's nothing else that's got that open on my computer. So I'm going to not choose a different catalog. I'm going to click Continue, I think, and we'll see how that works out. Not very well. So in this case, I'm going to click Exit. Return to Windows once you've authorized. I'm going to click Done to that too. Because in actual fact it has authorized it. Look, if you look in the Flickr account, the Authorize button we clicked a little earlier on is now greyed out, and it says I'm authorized as Beckham Digital. So it looks like we just need to find our way through some of these settings, and we can remove the authorization here if we want to. So let's tuck that away. It seems to have done that job okay. Right, set the Flickr title. Set Flickr title using IPTC title. I wish I could explain to you exactly what that is, but I haven't a clue, being truthful to you. So I just want my file name anyway. When uploading photos, replace existing title. Well, I suppose there's always an option that I might choose one title twice, but I think I'm going to run that risk and allow it to overwrite. Let's move on to the file naming. That I'm going to leave set as it is here to just the file name. I'm not too concerned with that. Video is irrelevant. File settings. Well, the JPEG here is greyed out because that's the option that Flickr accepts, so we really don't have a choice. But we do have a choice on the compression, and my personal choice is 80%. So let's move on to the image sizing. The image sizing, yes, I do resize my image, and I use the long edge and I make them 1200 pixels. I appreciate that with the modern Flickr we can upload high resolution images, and on the account on our Flickr page, we can determine the maximum size of an image the viewer can see and download. So we could put high resolution pictures up on Flickr and treat it as a storage if we wanted to, and in the knowledge, of course, if we've got the settings correct, we're not giving our pictures access to anyone on the internet, or certainly nothing, in my case, above 1200 pixels. So there's two ways we can do that. Output sharpening, well, I am reducing the pixel count in there, so this is when I generally do select a standard screen sharpening, and that's all I'm going to go for. Metadata, some people like to hide their metadata, and I'm not entirely sure why. I'm quite happy for people to see it because you learn quite a bit. Privacy and safety, watermarking I'm not too concerned with. Privacy and safety, these are options we usually see on our Flickr account, and of course in my case this image is a public image, it's safe, and I want people to be able to view it as they see fit. We're done. Let's click Save to create that account. I'm going to hit the G key to go back to the grid view, and there's an image that I created a little while ago, a completed image. So let's assume we want to put that up on Flickr. Click and drag and drop it into the photo stream. Remember, we can do more than one at a time if we like. All we need to do then is go to that photo stream, right click and publish it. If you look up at the top left of the screen, you've got updating, publish collections, updating our photo stream. And while that's happening, I'm going to take the time to log on to my Flickr account, because once again we'd like to just take a look to make sure what we think is happening actually is. Well, there you can see my Flickr photo stream has just popped onto the screen, and there's the image we've just uploaded. If I select that image and go to the edit, what we can then do is to change the name, because I generally put a name there, and sometimes we're going to want to put a description too. So it works a treat. To rename this, I just click the once and it'll open up, so I could call this Last Rays. And of course, if I click in here, I can also type a little message or something about the image if I wish. There we have a little message to go with it. And if you're not a Flickr user and you're a photographer, this is something that may be worth you taking a look at. I used to produce image galleries in the past and put them up on a website, but this seems to me to be far easier, better, more convenient all round. Anyway, once I've changed that, I can click Save, and we're done. When I come back to Lightroom, I can go to my Flickr photo stream and just see the picture or pictures that I've just uploaded. And one thing I've noticed, I gave my preset a name of Flickr, but it appears to be showing as photo stream, which is no problem. I know exactly what it is. But if I highlight this image and hit the delete key, it's not exactly deleted. It's moved to a deleted photos to remove folder or file, which I can tuck away if they get in the way, but no great problem with just one image. And that will remain there until we upload the next file to Flickr. And it's a great way of seeing really where you're up to. Now, the other options like Facebook and Behance are going to work in much the same way.